Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with an on-the-fly review for you, and today I'm talking about The Green Knight, released this last weekend, directed by David Lowery, starring Dev Patel, Alicia Vikander, Joel Edgerton, Kate Dickie, and Ralph Ineson. The whole story here, that this is based on the 14th century folklore, Gawain and the Green Knight, the story of King Arthur's nephew and the youngest of his Knights of the Round Table is tricked by an apparition, this green demon, into a battle. After he wins the battle, basically he's tricked into an honored bound by the rules of the game that they played, of the battle that they had. That basically, 1 year from now, he is going to have to go to the Green Knight's chapel and sacrifice his own life for the honor of Camelot. And the story is basically his quest. Now, where to break down. Now, first off, start with the positive. I like the aesthetic sensations of this film, definitely. The ambiance, if you will. The art direction, costume designs, photography, sound editing, the script, the dialogue, the score, all this stuff was very, very appealing to the senses. However, boy, did this movie drag on. At just a little over 2 hours long, this movie just absolutely crawls by, including a sequence in the third act where we go 15 full minutes without a line of dialogue. There's no action in this film, despite their action scenes and battles are definitely insinuated. I mean, there's no descriptions of any big things in the ancient story, but they tell of battles. He had adventures. It's not just... This movie's literally just... Dev Patel walks for a few minutes, sees something spooky, rinse and repeat until we have 2 hours worth of movie. They definitely changed the ending to a preposterous degree. How do I explain it? They stupefy. They oversimplify the moral of the story to the point where it almost feels like the movie's talking down to you, all for the sake of coming off looking like it's artsy. And then there is the elephant in the room, and that's the stunt casting. Dev Patel is supposed to be the nephew of King Arthur. However, he is a different race than everyone else in the movie. Now, I've always hated stunt casting. No, there are definitely degrees of bad stunt casting. The absolute lowest forms have got to be Johnny Depp as Tonto, Will Smith as Jim West, and John Wayne as, I believe, Genghis Khan. Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes was bad stunt casting. It was just stunt casting. Now, yes, they made it work. It was just to our benefit. It ended up being a really excellent movie. But when they tried it again for a sequel, it clearly didn't have the legs they thought it did. Overall, I'm going to give this movie 3 stars because I thought it was artistic, I thought it was well made, and I thought it was engaging, even though it is, in all honesty, kind of a boring movie. I think Patel was good in it, though he is no movie star. And to be fair, I don't know if I could sit here and tell you anybody who would have been a draw and would have made this film more interesting. But the problem is that it doesn't stick to what it really is. Now, if you want to see a story about ancient British mythology and King Arthur, the once and future king, I would most recommend the early film, a film from the early 1980s called Excalibur, if you've never seen it. Yes, it is very cluttered, incredibly long, and hardcore R rating for both nudity and violence. But it is the entire story of King Arthur from his conception to his death. And it's all there, man. This is Sword of the Stone. It's the betrayal of Morgan Le Fay. It is the birth of Midas. It is the search for the Holy Grail. the affair between Guinevere and Lancelot. It's all there. And yeah, it's, as I said, it'll take up your whole afternoon, but it is definitely worth a watch, even though it features the always dreadful Nicole Williamson as Merlin. I've never liked him, but it also features a very sexy Helen Mirren, who I believe was in her mid-30s around this time, which means, you know, she shows those titties. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I thought The Green Knight was much better than I was expecting going in all honesty, but at the same time was still very disappointed. Anyhow, yeah, I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.